Hey everybody, welcome to the channel again. On this video, we're gonna go over how to move posts from one feature to the other one. There's multiple reasons why you should not be doing that, especially if you don't know what single posts are and what multi-posts are because they have different formats. It's still possible to move them from one to the other one. Sometimes not possible to move them back again. For example, single posts on the directories are posts that only support one image. For example, blogs, they only have one image. Articles, they only have one image. Multi-post or multi-imaging, which should be the actual name, are posts that support multiple images. Those are classifieds, products, photo albums, properties, um, anything that supports multiple images. Anything that's one image, that would be events, jobs, coupons, okay? What I just said, blogs, articles, those are one image. Why do you need to know that? Because if you're a developer, single posts are saved in the data posts table, and multi-posts are saved in the user's portfolio and user's portfolio groups table because of the relationship of one to many between the actual posts and the images. That's foreign language to anybody that's not a developer, but for a developer, they will be like, oh, nice, thank you. For normal people, like most that are going to be listening to this video, let's say, and because I got Riaz to ask me that question in the Facebook and support group on Facebook, he said, how do I move from articles to blogs or blogs to articles? Um, so the there's no option to do that because let's just say there's bad things that could happen if you make a mistake or you try to go back with the movement and stuff like that. So what I did was the following. So at least you guys, if you're sure that you want to migrate from one to the other one, it's one step away. So I made this group, this three, and the titles are blog 1, 2, and 3. And for the articles, we did 1, 2, and 3. Okay. We know if you start gathering information, we know that articles by default are in the articles URL section. So it's literally slash articles. And blogs are in slash blog. Okay. We got that there. Aha. Okay. Nice and to know that part. Now we need to gather their IDs to identify them. So we know here, for example, that 15, I mean, in my content edit post settings, 15 is the articles, 14 is the blogs. Okay. And we want to, for example, we want to move all the articles to the blogs. There's no moving in there. We can delete them, but there's no moving. So what do we want to do? We want to make sure that when we move them, nothing bad happens to them. So in order to do that, remember 15 articles, 14 blog. We want to move all the articles, all the three here, to the blogs. We go to Developer Hub. We go to MySQL. We click on the name, and then you can actually click on Data Post. You don't need to do that. You can just actually click on the SQL up here. But let's click over there so you get this options here, and you can see the blogs, and you can see the events and any coupons, anything that's single post. What do we want to do? We want to make sure that when we migrate them over, they respect the new URL structure. So meaning if I move articles to blogs, instead of the URL saying articles, it should say blog. And we change the ID, which is called data ID. If you scroll all the way up here somewhere, there should be something that says data ID. There it is. So here are the 14 and 15. And we go back. Remember, articles are 15. We want to move them to the 14. So we want to change that number. So what do we do? You can click on the SQL at the top, or you can just click here and edit inline, and we're gonna type the following. We're gonna update data post, and we're gonna set the data ID to 14, because we're moving it to blog, 14, comma, and we're changing the post file name. This, where it says blog, single post, articles, so that when they click on the URL, they actually end in something that says blog, blah, 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 instead of clicking on something that's on the blog feature and then suddenly they're in the article again. So post file name equals replace post file. I'll put this in the description. Hopefully, um, YouTube will allow me. Post file name, and we want to replace articles. You see, articles slash, okay, with blog slash. So replace, okay, replace this and that, where the data ID is 15. This in plain English means, hey, wherever you find an article, that's why I put the data ID here, change their data ID to 14, which is a blog, and also change the URL structure from whatever it says articles in it to blog. That's it. We run it, it changed 3. If you go here where I'm actually seeing the 3 articles, there's 3 here, blog articles down here. If I refresh this, you're gonna see that those 3 moved over here. Now we got 6 blog. If I go to articles and I refresh, it's just gonna say there's nothing there anymore. I'm like, what happened? If you go to the blogs or you refresh, now you see 6 in there. And you actually click on any of them, the URL structure will be properly done. So now you've migrated them over. There's other things that you can do about which ones you want to migrate over. That's for a plugin that we have for the partners and stuff like that, where they can cherry pick what gets migrated between multi-post and single post and blah 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 blah. Yeah, there's a lot of filtering things that you can do there. But this is a neat, efficient way of moving a lot of blogs from one feature to the other one. So I hope that helps you. I'll put it in the description. I don't see something here that um, YouTube will not block me from putting this URL so you can get an idea. And obviously you gotta adjust the 14 and the 15 and whatever you put here, depending on what you're moving from and to. So if you're going from community to, I don't know, videos, you gotta make sure of that. Plus take care of the 13 and the 71 here if you're doing those and so on. Okay? Hope you like the video. Big hugs to everybody. Think positive as always. Bye.